Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Podcast. It is Wednesday, the 24th of year 24. Some call it Cody Bellinger Day. Welcome to the live show. Best way to enjoy the experience is to sign up and subscribe for the CHGO Sports YouTube page. Don't miss any of the shows. Hang out with us. I see the chat's been waiting for us. A few thumbs up. Yeah, that's right. We got a special guest in studio today. Luke Stuckmeyer, Ryan Herrera, Mr. Joe Johnson from Obvious Shirts, and, of course, Cody Delmendo down at the end. He's the king of shirts. That's what we call him, the king of shirts. King of merch.
King of merch?
Dope merch.
Dope merch. That's right. Yeah, we do the dope, and then you're just the merch.
I disagree.
I'm the dope guy.
Okay.
Not that has nothing to do with Sunnyside.
Okay.
They are a sponsor, though.
I wouldn't think of you any differently.
I know. Right. So Joe's here. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff today. We're going to talk about the Hall of Fame. We're going to talk about maybe the one that got away.
Perhaps.
Depending on how you look at it. Did want to start off and let you know, not to toot our own horn, Joe.
Exactly.
But we have sick drip here sometimes too. And our Sammy, Bring Sammy Home, dropped yesterday. So those are available at ALLCITY.com. Now,
the hoodie is incredible, in my opinion.
It's pretty cool.
Real nice.
Yeah.
Now, just as cool as those Sammy shirts, Bring Sammy Home, I like the little hop on it, right? Mm-hmm. We heard the news about Ryan Sandberg this week, and right away, Joe was on it and put out Rhino Strong. Now, I saw the guy jump on you on Twitter, which, by the way, your Twitter account is it's a great follow, even if you're not a specific fan of a specific team, because it's really fun. But, there's just there are so many people that are just outrageously negative and want to attack on Twitter, right? Yeah. And so I was glad that you responded. Usually I say, whatever. I don't care what anybody's saying. But when somebody attacks you and is like, you're just trying to sell Rhino Strong for money, the shirt, the hoodie that you're wearing today, and you were like, you don't know anything about me. Yeah. Rhino supports this, and this is for charity, 100%.
Yeah. And thanks for the nice words. That was really, really nice of you.
Well, it's all true.
Thank you. That means a lot. I take pride in the social media aspect because that's my communication to Cub fans. So I try to be original. I try to be authentic. The brand, the tweets, that's just my personality, which is most of the time boring and dry sense of humor. But sometimes it works. And I get trolls a lot, right? My shirts, this whole concept was make an idea so dumb that it might work. And that was the birth of the company, was basic, witty shirts with just words on it, right?
Yeah.
And so I get trolls a lot. Trolls don't bother me, but when you not only question my character, which I work and take a lot of pride in my character, and then say bullshit like the Sandberg family would be appalled and this is a money grab, go fly a kite, dude. That's just so far-fetched from what I stand for. So I had to make a stand and at least not defend myself, but I'm not going to let a troll talk shit like that. Well, he doesn't know anything.
You're a great success story, and I was going to say, Twitter is interesting because there can be something as negative as that, right?
Yeah.
Somebody saying just being mean to be mean or whatever, or bitter or whatever they want to be. And on the flip side, I believe you're on the other side doing things that are fun and creative and bringing enjoyment to people and nothing else. And it's not just, people need to know that it's not just Rhino Strong. And I have no, stock in Obvious Shirts. But when Mark Silverman had cancer, you jumped on and helped out Mark Silverman. We're like, hey, this can go to charity. Jeff Dickerson, same thing, goes to his charity, right? Team Mongo, same thing, charity. People want to say what they want, but you could make a lot of money on those if you wanted to, and you're not. You're not making a dime on it.
Not a dime, and even all the labor that goes into it, that's not counted. That's just our workers. We have awesome employees. That's our time that we donate on top of making no money. And that's credit to my mom. I was very lucky. I was raised by a single mom, but she always instilled give more than you receive, and it's more important to give. And your reputation is not just how you present yourself. It's also with the actions that you take in difficult times. So like, again, Obvious Shirts has been widely successful. I am extremely fortunate. A lot of it's been luck. Like, I don't know if it would work if I did it today, but I've given more, and this is kind of going to sound douchey, but I've given more money to charity than I've paid myself in 6 years. So like, if you're going to come at me about fame, and another thing is I stay behind the curtain. Like I intentionally don't be public. Like getting me on here was, I mean, Cody, bless his heart, like he asked and asked and asked. I was like, I don't need it
for like 2 years.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't want to gain anything by being on here. I love the show. I like you guys, but yeah, I'm not in it for fame or money. I just do it because I enjoy doing it. So thanks, Stucky. That was really nice.
And I didn't bring that up to pump your tire. You were coming in here long before any of that stuff, even the Rhino announcement came.
Before that happened.
I just happened to see it yesterday. And I was like, oh, we have to address this because
some people
just don't know.
Yeah.
And it's,
Twitter can be great, and it can also be miserable.
It's the valleys and the mountaintops.
I replied to the guy myself and was like, are you going to apologize now, or are you dead from being cooked? And he didn't reply.
And I found out who it is, too. I'm going to take the high road and bury it.
Oh, big of you.
Yeah.
Credit to you.
Credit to me.
Credit to you, yeah.
No doxing on this show.
Yeah, no doxing. I'm not going to stoop to that level.
I also want to say, sorry, Ryan, I've cut you off twice now. I want to say that
print that shirt.
The first Obvious shirt that I got was definitely right around 2017 or 2018 when you were still just like online and
out of my basement.
Yeah, like I don't even you definitely didn't even have like the warehouse or whatever that's in Wrigley, and it was the Cleveland Blue with 3-1 lead. And I also got the 11-2-16 shirt. Mm-hmm. And I heard about you through like someone on Twitter who had told me, like, because I saw someone wearing one of your shirts and I was like, where did that come from? This is incredible. And that's how now I have like way too many of your shirts in my closet, if that's possible.
Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah. I didn't get a Twitter until like 2016. I was not a Twitter guy. I'm not a social media guy. And Brett Taylor, shout out to Bleacher Nation, who I love. He's like my mentor. Words of wisdom is all Brett Taylor spews, especially when it comes to the Cubs. But he's like, yeah, you should get a Twitter account because if you're gonna be words on shirts, use the feed like you would a T-shirt saying. And so like I was never about. And Twitter's been. I would argue that Twitter's been probably a lot of the growth of the company's been because of Twitter. I mean, I was just like Instagram and. I still don't know what the hell I'm doing, but yeah, Twitter's been the outlet that's been the best to connect and gain inspiration and test an idea, right? If a tweet blows up of a phrase, I'll put it on Twitter. And if it does well, it's like, well, the next result is probably should put it on a shirt.
Yeah. And, I'm curious, and I'm sure there's people in the chat that maybe don't know the whole background story, your whole background story and how this, got started. So I'm curious because, you see pictures of like Andrew Chafin wearing an Obvious shirt when he's in Oakland, right? After he's already traded. You see
failed starter.
All
failed starter.
Oh yeah. It's like, what's the posture? Is this like
these chairs are terrible for posture.
No,
Look at me.
Great.
I'm just
I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
I think you just have to have the mic closer.
Just keep the mic kind of
very
close.
Yeah, there you go.
You're fine.
But
you're good.
So for the people that don't know, just how did this get started? Why did you do this? Like why did this become the thing you decided to get going with?
Yeah, so it started as a joke. I was working not too far away from this building. I was working downtown Chicago, right across the river, selling software. And I was lucky because everybody on my team were all Cub fans. So the water cooler talk in the morning was based around what the Cubs did last night. And the end of the day chat when you're killing time waiting for it to hit 5 was occupied with talking about the Cubs. And it goes back a little further. I'm a terrible storyteller, so I'm going to be all over the map. The Jake thing was cool because playing baseball myself, I was on a travel team. We got to play at TCU, and what was cool was we were high schoolers, and they let you every team gets to use the TCU facility, which is incredible, and you get the lockers. And I chose locker for player number 34 on TCU, and I was just like messing around, and one of the custodians is like, oh, you picked a good locker. I'm like, yeah. He's like, that's our best player, and it was Jake. And so
Nice.
I remember the name, and when the greatest trade in Cubs, arguably the greatest trade in Cubs history, got pulled off, and we got Strop and Arrieta. I remember I was at Mullins when we found out, or when they talked about it on TV, and I was with my buddy Diaz, and I was like, I know that guy, or like, and then he's like, I've never heard of him, and I'm told him the story, so I was like, that's gonna be my dude, because like the universe is weird, and I'm just like, that's my guy, thinking that was so cool because I had his locker for 10 minutes, and so he was like one of my favorite players right away, not knowing about any of his success in Baltimore. Well, he ended up being like from another planet.
Sure.
And in 2015, you guys all know the stretch. He was like 13-1 in 15 games. Ridiculous numbers. We'll probably never see that again. I wanted to make here's my storytelling abilities that are all over the map. So in the office, I was late. I came in really late to work. I came in at like 10, and most people start at 8. And the whole floor was silent when I walked in, and like eyeballs just looking at me, go to my desk. And my manager's like, do you have any words? Like, why the hell you're late? And I'm like, Jake Arrieta is good at baseball. And everybody laughed because it was such a underrated statement.
Yeah.
And I think the night before that he pitched, I was at that game, and I probably had a few too many and slept in past my alarm clock. I'm not going to tell him that's the reason why I was late, but I think like Jake had like 11 strikeouts or 9 strikeouts, won 7 innings, whatever, ridiculous. And my buddy's sitting next to me. He's like, you should put that on a shirt. And I'm like, yeah, that's a really good idea, because there's not really good merch like in terms of a T-shirt. And wearing a jersey in July and August, I had bleacher season tickets at the time. It's not comfortable. It gets hot. So I was like, his name was Joe, who sat next to me. He was like, Joe, find me, because he used to work for a company when he was in college that did band T-shirts for like Live Nation. I was like, Joe, find me the softest, most breathable, sweat wicking, light, beautiful shirt that I could wear, sit in the bleachers at a 120 game in August. And he hooked it up. And I was like, I just wanted to say, Jake Arrieta is good at baseball. I'm going to wear it to his next start. And so I did. I took like 2 weeks later, I got the shirt in. Jake was throwing, I think, like the next day or two. And I wore it. This was probably it was one of the last regular season games Jake pitched in 2015 against the Brewers, struck out 11, went all 9, gave up 2 or 3 hits. Mm-hmm. And in the third inning, I went to go get a beer and just got bombarded. So like people were like, that's hilarious. Where did you get that? I said, I made it myself, but I can make you one, because I was a salesman, right? So I put on my salesman cap and was like, give me your info. So I took business cards. I took notes in my phone app. And when I ordered 50 of them, because I got like 30 business cards, so I ordered 50, thinking maybe I'll sell the extra 20. And I reached out to everybody individually, said I got your shirt in, if you still want it. Jake was getting better and better and better going into the postseason, the game against Pittsburgh, which was one of the best nights of my life.
Same.
And it went nuts, and I sold all 50 of them like in a day, and then so I ordered 100, and those all sold in one post on Facebook, and then I ordered 400, and those sold in like a day and a half. And I was hearing from people like, guys I played summer ball with, their cousin was reaching out to me from Maryland, who's a Cub fan, like asking for one. So that was the big break, number one. And then the Kyle Schwarber shirt, Kyle Schwarber Crushes Baseballs, was my second shirt. A guy in New York City bought it, wore it, got on TV. It made MLB.com and ESPN, and then the PA came at me. I'm just doing a really, really good job of blabbering on, aren't I? The MLB PA said, no, you can't do that.
Right, because you're giving players' names.
Players' likeness, yeah. So I was like, all right, sorry. And they're like, how many did you sell? I said, I sold 453 of the Kyle Schwarbers last night. And they're like, oh. And I'm like, I have some other ideas. If you let me show you them, I would love to, like, maybe work with you. And they're like, well, no, we don't really, that's not how we operate, but send them over and we'll get back to you. So I sent them other ideas that I had, and they got back to me. And they're like, we love this. This is different. That's not been really done before. We like the simplicity. And I'm like, they like how dumb this is. It's working. And I had a contract signed like 2 or 3 days later.
Wow.
And the rest is history. I mean, obvious shirts, you see them all over the place. I mean, it's not just Cubs baseball anymore. It's literally all over.
Bulls, Bears. It's
other sports in other cities. And I am curious, we'll get on to talking a lot of Cubs baseball here, but I am curious, some of them come out so fast and are so good, and I'm like, do you come up with all of them,
Not all of that.
Or like what percentage of them are you sitting around going, oh, I gotta print this? Because, we come up with them on the couch over there.
Well, would you consider...
But yours are better.
I don't know about that. I would say 90% I come up with.
Wow.
That's just... my brain's weird. And it's not... I don't think it's impressive. It's just like that's how my brain's wired. Like I can take something that happens and make it as basic and as boring as possible. Like maybe it's a gift. I just make it simple, and I think layout's important, so it's got to like look right, and a lot of it's how you read it. So a word break or a sentence break, putting a certain word there, like lets you really think about the phrase. But like, we had Braggs in here. I was just talking with Braggs. The What If I Told You, that was all Greg Braggs, and I tried to pay him for it. God bless his soul. He's just such a nice guy that he wouldn't accept anything for it and let me have it for nothing. That's one of the few that I think of right away that was not my idea. But like a lot of the ideas are something like somebody says. So I'm not going to take credit for a phrase. Like when Chris Bryant, I think it was during Cubs convention, like 2018.
St. Louis is boring.
Yeah, St. Louis is boring. So I put St. Louis. So like I don't consider that. I'm not going to take credit for that. I just literally he said it, and I'm like, that would be funny on a shirt.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
So I would say like
Who goes to Cleveland on vacation?
Yeah,
the Joakim Noah.
The Noah shirt. Like there's just some things that players say that's like that has to be a shirt, but for the most part, it's just me.
The funniest one I think you have that's not a Cubs one is the play like Jordan, party like Rodman
it's really
that you
good.
released like right after the Last Dance.
Yeah,
And
that's
like the Rodman episode from the Last Dance
electric.
is electric, right? Like the whole process of him going to Vegas with Carmen Electra or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was one of the first obvious shirts I got from you that wasn't a Cubs one. It's one of the more funnier ones to me.
And I love the I'm allergic to Green Bay one. That's just...
Yeah, like that came from St. Louis. If there's anything, I don't hate anything in life, but if I had to pick one thing, it would be the St. Louis Cardinals. I just and like
hell yeah, brother.
And I have fans that are like all of you. I'm sure you have friends that are Cardinals fans.
Yeah.
Half the state of Illinois, you go, by Champaign and south, it's all Cardinals country.
Yeah,
I know.
So
I went to school in Missouri, so there's a lot of Cardinals fans.
And like there's some cool Cardinals fans out there, but I just can't stand them. And so the allergic started there, and it's like I should do this about more cities and more teams and more markets. But I don't care about other teams and other markets, so I just didn't. And maybe that's a bad business move, but again, authenticity. I'm going to stay true to myself, and
No Goldschmidt shirts. They're not available.
No, and it broke my. I was devastated when Nolan went to the Cardinals because Nolan was I love Nolan Arenado, and now he's dead to me, so it's too bad.
Me and Joe are actually like the same person in a way. So.
Right. Yeah, Nolan was awesome. I love, and I'm a Cubs homer, so I pushed for, Nolan to the Cubs, whatever it costs, whatever. Like, I try not to be too serious, which is why I'm going to be terrible if we talk about the Cubs. Like, it's not going to be good advice. I'm going to give irrational thoughts from a Cubs homer who doesn't have time to read stats and player like statistics and makeup anymore.
Don't worry, because I believe you described your shirts as simple, dry, and boring, and you've summed up our entire podcast.
No.
So we appreciate that. It's like a
we
cross
reference
promotion.
The Office a lot on this show.
Yeah.
It's dry and boring.
And
if
like,
you don't get dry humor, you
it.
probably don't like the show.
Yeah,
personally.
and you got to make fun of yourself. I mean, we're not saints or angels here. We gotta call it how we see it.
Talking about baseball.
Yeah, we're just talking about baseball. If people react a certain way, like, geez, people must be miserable to like really get worked up about something you said.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Come on, people.
Barb on the live YouTube chat we like to call her the godmother of CHGO Cubs. She would like a Garvey Sucks T-shirt. If you can make one of those, actually, you can still do the custom shirts, right? Like
we do.
You can just go online and make whatever shirt you want.
Yeah,
I heard Barb's kind of a
some
legend
degree.
around these parts.
She is.
So,
She is.
Barb, you reach out to me.
Is this live?
Yes.
Yes,
Barb,
that's the
send
show.
an email to shop@obviousshirts.com. Tell the world who you are. Say this is Barb, and we'll get you the Garvey Sucks shirt at no cost.
There it is.
Wow.
There you
See
go,
what I'm
Barb.
talking about, Barb?
There you go, Barb.
That's why they're the best.
We also had one super chat. I think it was a request from Fernando.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh yeah,
$1.99.
can we get the Rhino Silhouette 23 from the Cap on a hoodie? Do you have that
I
on a
believe
hoodie
we
yet?
have it, yeah.
I think
So
you
I
do
was-
already.
Yep.
So yeah, go on obviousshirts.com.
Yeah. I don't know if we have any in stock right now. We already reordered all of our Rhino stuff because we got to rally together. I don't care if you buy an obvious shirt or you buy anything Ryan Sandberg. Let's just show our support for him. all-time great, living legend. As good as a dude off the field as he was on it. Quiet, reserved, but you get to know him, and he's got a lot of wisdom, and is just a good person.
That's one thing, like what you just said, is if there was any kind of jealousy from my end, is that you've got to meet so many Cubs legends, and I haven't. And so that's probably the biggest thing that you've got to do that I'm jealous about.
You'll get there, bud. Like, that's been the coolest perk, I guess, of this, but you'll 100% get there, and there's many things I'm jealous of you that you have, and that's, I guess, what makes the world go round is our jealousy of one another.
That's right. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Jealousy.
Yeah. It is.
Makes the world go round. So we did mention today is 1/24/24. It is Cody Bellinger week, which we will celebrate later in the show. We are past 1/24. No news.
Yeah.
But wait for it.
Didn't someone say maybe it could be February 24th?
2/4/24. I might have had the day wrong. 2/4/24.
Isn't that what I said
February 4th
after
also.
February? So you were
Shit,
calling
that
me
might be a
out.
better day than 1/24. 2/4/24.
Well, it is now because it
Yeah.
hasn't
All
happened.
right,
so.
let's shift it.
Yeah.
Let's change the narrative. It's
Mix it up.
2/4.
February 4th.
Yes,
Let's go.
February.
Stucky spent the last 2 days calling me out for saying it's probably not going to happen this week.
Well, he doesn't
And
want it
now
to
you
happen,
want to
but
switch
that's
to
another story. He's
now
saying-
you want to switch to 2/4/24.
Ryan, are you the downer? Like, not the downer, but are you the realist? Are you you're the realist?
so.
You're
I'm
not
the
the
realist.
optimist.
I'm the realist.
He's low Craig.
Okay.
I'm the you. I'm you. On
Yeah,
the
the
show.
Cubs
Yeah.
homer.
Yeah.
like Stucky's like very here, and then Cody's all the way
Actually,
up
I'm a little
here.
bit of this.
Yep.
Cody's
Stucky's
way
definitely a
up
little bit of
on
a
the
roller
ceiling,
coaster.
and then I really got a real Cody in, but I got a real.
When
Luke
things
in
are going
sometimes, too.
wrong, Stucky's like,
Yeah.
straight down.
See, now Greg is pointing out this. I
will
went to
find a
do
way
the
to be
custom
optimistic.
thing, and I got distracted by the kids. But the custom one I was going to make was don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
There you go.
Don't have
Yeah.
the
Key to
facts,
journalism.
They teach that. They teach that Northwestern journalism.
Yes,
school
I
now.
believe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
think it's-
Kellogg School or
yeah,
whatever
the
they
hall.
call it.
When you walk in the hall, it's like now it's etched in the brick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So I'm jealous of that. That you get your phrases etched in Kellogg's school of. Is it Kellogg School of Journalism?
I think so. Yeah, credit
Well,
to them.
speaking of phrases, at least the summer of Mike Talkman, the shirt would not exist without
Collab,
you
the
because
collab
we do
shirt
not
we
have
did.
we do not have the rights to players' names like you do.
Yeah,
That's
that was a great
the main
collab.
reason why we did the
Yeah,
collab.
that
Right?
That was a great
So-
collab.
That's
He
awesome.
Mike won't wear it, but he's well aware it exists.
That's good.
I
Well,
made him.
we didn't bring it up to him when we did an interview with him at Cubs Convention. And I thought, well, we'll just hold off on that.
I made him. Sorry to interrupt. I have a horrible habit of doing that. I made him a Jimmy Garoppolo interceptor T-shirt because he intercepted Jimmy Garoppolo in high school, and he refuses to wear it. So because he's
that's
just
a
such
sweet
a
shirt.
humble, good guy.
He's a humble dude.
Yeah,
He's like, I don't want the spotlight.
yeah. Just put the shirt on, Mike.
Hey, did you guys see Trey Mancini, Marlins, minor league deal? Former Cub. Shout out. Now, the guy that could have been a Cub, I'm curious how many people in the live YouTube chat and are watching are angry that Rhys Hoskins did not sign with the Cubs. Instead, we're going to see a lot of him because he's going to be with the Brewers for potentially 2 years, $34 million. Now, he can opt out after one, right?
Yeah.
Believe so.
Are you? No, we're not surprised, though, right?
I mean, I wasn't necessarily surprised, and I've said on the pod the last week and a half or so, especially since the Michael Bush Almonte trade, that I felt like, okay, Rhys Hoskins seems like it's less likely now, and maybe Matt Chapman is more likely. But like, I understand that Bush hasn't proved anything, and he kind of struggled in his brief major league debut with the Dodgers, but he's still a top 50 prospect, and I'd rather find out if a young guy who is highly touted like he is, I'd rather find out if that guy can be the guy than go with another veteran guy who, like, objectively isn't a good defender at first. And most people, you bring up Trey Mancini as a joke. Like, a lot of people don't like Trey Mancini because he made errors at first base on top of the fact that he just didn't hit. Like, he was a minus 0.8 WAR last year. He didn't do anything positive for the Cubs last year, and he played the same position. Now, obviously, I think Rhys Hoskins is better than Trey Mancini. He's proved it a lot longer than Trey Mancini. But to me, with the fact that they still don't have an idea of what they're doing with Morel position-wise, you have Bush. I still think Cody Bellinger is going to be here. there's
Maybe
three, potentially, there's two guys at least that could play first. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe the Cubs, if we see in spring training the Cubs giving Morel some opportunities at first base. But that's remained to be seen, right? Also, we just talked about yesterday Owen Casey taking pictures, Rich taking pictures of him playing first base. Of course, he's going to be a midseason call-up, if anything. But still, like, they have some options there. I'd rather go the young route than go get a guy who's in his 30s, coming off missing an entire year from an ACL injury. Again, this is all just basically because of the trade that was made. Now, beforehand, when no one thought that trade was going to happen, it's like, yeah, I'd entertain it. Like, it's a nice bounce-back opportunity. But no one – like, I remember people weren't even excited about the rumor, you know? So I don't really understand why a lot of people are – pissed about it.
I wasn't excited about the rumor, but I'm a Matt Mervis homer, so I think it's ridiculous that we haven't talked about him. Nobody's talked about him. The writers.
We haven't really talked about him enough.
I think he's going to be really good still. I really do. What was Rizzo's first 100? He has 90 at bats in baseball. Yeah. And if you followed like his minors, he's had slumps in the minors. He has one good weekend, and then he becomes a superhero. So like. He didn't have that struggle and bounce back moment. We didn't even get to that. He didn't get that opportunity. So yeah, I'm a Matt Mervis homer. I think he's a great. I think he has intangibles that other people like. He can hit a baseball a lot harder than 90% of the league.
And that's another option too. Like I didn't even mention him, which
you
now
didn't.
I feel bad.
Yeah. So I mentioned him.
And
that's my point exactly.
He's an easy shirt. I like my taters mashed.
Yeah, there you go.
Mervis.
Stucky, you're hired.
Mashed. Mervis.
No,
A+ comment.
A+ comment. Yeah.
There you go.
No, I mean Mervis. I know there was when he got sent back down. There's specific things.
I want the real list. Well, the bring down of Matt Mervis.
No. I'm saying I know there's specific things for Mervis that they want when they send him back down. Like they really need to see him work on, and obviously he didn't get that second shot last year, so I think that's still a work in progress. But like the off season's long. Mm-hmm. You have 6 weeks of spring training. Like we could see. I mean, maybe Matt Mervis does push his way for an opening day roster spot. We don't know that. But with him, with Michael Busch, like as Cody mentioned, there's just question marks with some of these guys. Rhys Hoskins felt to me like if they weren't going to get Cody Bellinger, they kind of needed to get Rhys Hoskins.
Yes.
Or Matt Chapman maybe included in that kind of grouping. But like now that Rhys Hoskins is gone, it feels like Bellinger is like the importance of getting Bellinger has gone higher. And the price for Cody Bellinger may have just gone up too, which
in a way
pay the man.
In a way, and I said this in the CHGO Sports Discord, the Cubs channel. I said this in there last night.
CHGO Lounge.
The CHGO Lounge, thank you. I said that in a way, this kind of feels like Boris getting some leverage back. Like Jed played his role in making that trade for Busch to get some leverage, and now Boris gets Rhys Hoskins signed with the Brewers, a rival team, and is like, all right, your move, Jed. You know what I mean?
Question for you guys. Strictly asking out of ignorance and not knowing a lot about how this works. So, Bellinger, like, I think I could be an idiot for saying this. I think, like, 7 years, 180 would be great. It's not my money, right? Like, and if I had Ricketts' money, I would just pay $200 million because I'm genuinely interested in knowing, has there been a major market team, right? We're going to talk about Dodgers, Boston, New York, Atlanta, whatever. A big market team. Has a $200 deal that's gone bad ever affect business ops or player acquisition? Has there been a team that spent $200 million that didn't work out and they never recovered from that?
Well, the Cubs let a smaller deal impact theirs in Hayward.
Yeah.
Right, but they've never spent $200 million. To your point, like
but
a lot of these
they've
big
never spent the big money.
Right.
Yeah. So like,
exactly.
Did that hurt the bottom line of the Cubs?
No.
I doubt it because they're going up and up and up in value every single year.
Eventually, no, and then it's like, and I think that we actually talked about this yesterday, where like the Ricketts could probably do with like Steve Cohen or what they did in San Diego last year, just give a bunch of people money.
But that backfired because everybody saw now that he did that and it didn't buy wins.
Right. So. But like what I'm saying is he could. I think the issue is, and like if you have an issue with the fact that the Cubs have a budget, like that's a different topic of discussion, because like
ridiculous.
I can see that. I can see that point of view. It's like, why do they have a budget when their owners
Like-
billionaires, right? I totally understand that argument. I
But
think
what are the Dodgers doing? It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with the
that
Dodgers.
happens, yeah.
But like Steve Cohen went out and bought 5 stars. Like I'm just asking for one. Like we just want one.
Right.
One.
yeah.
And we're
I-
willing
I'm-
to pay him now.
Just
with
pay
you.
him.
I'm with you. I'm
Do
with
you know how
you.
many
even have to
do you know-
defer it.
I'm in Merchland, right? So my baseball skills or my baseball knowledge has diminished since I've been in Merchland because my time is spent in merch and not in reading about Cody Bellinger's pets and his stats in 2017 and how he's progressed.
Yeah.
But I already lost my train of thought because I'm stuck in Merchland. But don't you think that like if we commit to Cody for 5, 6, 7 years, like speaking in Merchland, jersey sales are going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
You're going to get $20 million back over 7 years. Pay him $200
Oh,
million
yeah.
and make money in his jersey sales, make money in promotions, make money in fans putting their butts in seats to see him play, and you'll get that $20 million back, and we're back at 180.
The
Make
7
money from Marquee.
the 7 for 180 that you mentioned. I think that's what a lot of
think we've
people
all
feel
said
is like
is-
the most fair deal.
Okay, so I've
On
seen
both
people be
sides.
like, "That's ridiculous," or "That's
No.
the most."
Really?
But like,
I think that's as fair
I
as
could,
it gets.
I could be I could like, I don't know how to read sometimes, so I could read wrong. But like, I don't know. I love the people that are like, 7 years, 180, fine, but 7 years, 192, absolutely not.
That's right.
What are we doing?
Fernando with a super chat, $4.99, kind of on that. He just says, at what point do the Cubs just walk away from the table if Boris doesn't budge? Is anything over 5 years worth the risk after one good season? But it's not one good season.
It's
You
not.
go back
He's
a
already an
couple
MVP.
seasons and he's an MVP.
Yeah.
He's already shown the whole world he's got the intangibles. He's got something like Cody Bellinger. Not only does he have the it factor, but he has the glue making the team chemistry better. And that, I would argue, again, going to sound really ignorant here, having played college baseball and been a part of teams where my best friends to this day are from that college baseball team. What do you think the WAR, what's a wins above replacement of a really good chemistry? I don't know. If a really good chemistry inside a clubhouse makes everybody 0.25 better, you're looking at what? At least 7 WAR?
Something.
And if it makes some players a half of a game better because of, like, chemistry does a lot. And baseball is the one sport where chemistry can go a very long way. Like, really good chemistry, which the Cubs have already established with Bellinger in there, was something special. Like, nobody's talked about how good a chemistry and how good him being the glue and having him around, and he's making people want to work harder. Jameson Taillon wants to get in the gym more and work out with Belly. Like, that all matters. So I'm just kind of tired of again, if I had the Ricketts' money, but we've already established I like to spend, or I like to give money away, apparently. So I would do whatever it takes to win championships.
Just describe
I-
it, Del Metrics.
Yeah, Del Metrics.
He's definitely going with like the vibes route of it, right?
I'm a huge vibe guy.
Yeah.
Very
No,
big.
I think with Bellinger, it's like you said, 180. Anyone saying that's ridiculous, I don't agree with. I think that's a fair price for Bellinger.
Is the issue again? I'll shut up. I was
gonna say, and like the front office is a very, I wouldn't say they're completely risk averse, but as a good front office does, they try to maximize the reward, minimize the risk.
Well,
But
they're
at
behaving
some
like a
point-
middle office right now.
But at some point, you have to take a risk on someone, and I think Cody Bellinger. Like, I mean, it depends on what you'd have to pay him, because like going 250 plus does feel insane for Cody Bellinger. But at some point, you have to take a risk on someone, and Cody Bellinger, considering the historical track record, right? I know like 2021, 22 were bad for him, but he does have that ceiling that we've seen before. Like, it feels like someone that if you're going to take a risk on a riskier player, he might be the one guy. He might be one of those guys that you can get right now that's worth the risk.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm just saying, if it didn't work, if we did that and it didn't work out, would the Cubs be hands tied behind their back?
No, they
absolutely
wouldn't have
not.
to sell the franchise.
No.
That's
So,
what we're
like,
saying.
What are we doing here?
That's what we're saying with Hayward. Hayward should not have hamstrung the Cubs.
But
having to pay him.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
But like,
no, but I'm saying
were
it, and to
biblical
your
losses.
point, like to your point, it should having Jason Hayward's money on the book should not have hamstrung them when they
shouldn't have.
when it did.
and I would argue, being the chemistry guy that I am, that Jason Hayward brought intrinsic value
Sure.
to the Cubs through leadership and team chemistry. Some say we don't win a World Series without him,
I say that.
just from the speech.
Most of the guys on that team would say that. I think all the guys on that team would say that.
Well,
Telling you.
And that's the thing, too. Like, that clubhouse all sort of rallied around him. Even when he wasn't playing well, rallied around him. Bellinger seems like the same thing. You hear Cubs convention, they're all saying, we got to sign Belly, we got to sign Belly.
Don't let facts get in the way of good chemistry.
There you go. To close it, again, the people that, argue about the contracts and all this stuff, they're looking at his batted ball data on Baseball Savant, which is like the complete opposite of Matt Chapman's. When you look at his numbers or his batted ball data is all red, but his results aren't there. So they're literally Matt Chapman and Cody Bellinger are they're the exact opposite, because Bellinger was getting results last year, but there's a lot of blue on his Baseball Savant page. Chapman, a lot of red, but not the results. So it's like it comes down to the front office and how they're thinking. I'm sure they're looking at more than just like the Baseball Savant page, but for fans like me and you sitting here like talking about it, that's all we can look at and be like, that has to be a conversation into why they aren't willing to go to $200 million or whatever it is.
Yeah, I just want to win baseball games, and if we're not going to win baseball games, I want to have a really fun team that at least makes watching baseball a lot of fun. And I know. I know that everybody that talks on Twitter about the contracts, they're all summa cum laude from Wharton School of Business. I get it. But I don't know what they're trying to achieve by making sense of numbers to a franchise that's worth billions of dollars that sells out. I mean, there's not a better place to be in the summer than Wrigley Field on a 120 or on a Friday at 120. Let's just, I don't know. I mean, I'm a risk taker, right? So I gave everything up to try to start a freaking T-shirt business. So maybe I just am not. I don't have the makeup.
Joe just wants to sell.
I just
want
to have a good
shirts.
team. I just want to win. I just want to win.
No, I'm with you on that one. But
I have a few. I just thought before we close on. Are we done on Cody? Are we
we're going to go back to him for Cody Bellinger week in a couple
I'll
minutes.
save these.
We are running
I just have
heavy.
some really.
Hold on to those.
I found some cool facts about Cody. For Cody Bellinger.
We call that a tease.
Oh,
a lot of people don't know.
And one way the Ricketts could save money would be to start buying their tickets at game time.
Yeah. I mean, you go. What's the address for the Obvious Shirt store? I know it's a little bit north of Wrigley.
3776 North Clark, Chicago, Illinois, 60613 - I don't know the second part of the zip.
Grace and Clark.
So you go to that address, you go stop in the Obvious Shirt store, you meet Joe, you get a couple Obvious shirts for you and your family or whoever, and then you go on Game Time, take out the Game Time app, and go buy a ticket and go over to Wrigley Field. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. I've talked about it. I've gone to multiple concerts with Game Time. I've gone to multiple games with Game Time. It's great. I mean, if you're looking for that, if you want to go to a Bulls game soon or a Blackhawks, I know those are both in season, you can go and get your tickets on Game Time. Game Time's got last-minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals. It's easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area. You actually get the view from all seats in the venue. Game Time is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. See the view from your seat before you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. All-in prices show your total up front, so you know you're getting a great deal without hidden fees. You buy tickets in seconds with 2 taps. They're obsessed with finding ways to help you save money on tickets. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It's the place to find last-minute seats. Find exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. With zone deals, you pick the section and Game Time picks the seats for an average of 18% savings, and the Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Joe from Obvious Shirts, great success story in the area. How about Charlie the Bacon Guy?
Oh, yeah.
Probably the next best thing, maybe the best thing. Charlie the Bacon Guy is based out of Woodridge, and he makes craft bacon and bacon jams in over 30 different flavors. The bacon and bacon jams are all naturally cured, fancy preservative-free product. There aren't any ingredients that Charlie can't pronounce himself involved in the process, unlike most store-bought bacon. It's vacuum sealed, freezes great, lasts in a package for up to 45 days in the fridge, 6 months in the freezer, Bacon jam lasts 60 days in the fridge, 20 seconds in my house, and up to 6 months in the freezer. Some of the flavors, just a sampling: maple pepper, cheddar, Korean barbecue, beer cured, red wine, jardinera, applewood smoked. The bacon jam flavors, spicy. How about peach? Ooh, that sounds good. Bacon jam goes perfectly on anything. I like it in my scrambled eggs or omelets, toast, crackers, burgers, or just throw it on a spoon. It does it. Cinnamon rolls, by the way. Oh, I'm back on the cinnamon roll train. I might try a little bacon jam on that. You pick it up the most efficient way you want, or he'll deliver it to you, meet you halfway, or even ship it. He makes the bacon so you can bring it home. Head over to charliethebaconguy.com to place your order. You can reach him at on Instagram at Charlie the Bacon Guy, Twitter CZ the Bacon Guy. Check him out. I mean, this stuff's phenomenal. Like I said, I used to make a good omelet. Now I make an omelet that makes people cry.
I got to try some last year. He has a Malort flavor too.
Oh, wow.
That's one I'm going to skip.
Yeah, and
But, everybody.
that one it was interesting, but I still ate it. So
So it tells you it wasn't as
good.
bad as real Malort.
Yeah, it's not like what you would automatically think, but yeah, I felt very Chicago after I did it. So.
Did you see Fernando's a comment in there? He said, "I didn't pay for this shirt. Payment deferred to 2030."
He gets it. Fernando gets it.
That's the idea right there. Deferred payment till 2030.
Related to the game time tickets, Illinois and Northwestern play tonight. Obvious shirts also have like college themed shirts. I have Illinois is good at basketball.
We're getting there.
And if I would have been able to go to this game tonight, I would have worn that shirt. It's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah. Real quick, I think what you guys do is awesome, but I forgot your name already.
Sarah on the ones
Sarah,
and twos, yeah.
Sarah on the ones and twos. It's insane what she's doing right now. She is literally a wizard back there,
Yeah.
and I can see this is all new for me. Like
Right.
I'm in merch world, right? I'm not in production world, but like, holy shit! Like all the clicks and the drags and that's been
Joe's just over here.
We
messing
could
up.
not-
shout out to Sarah and the ones and twos.
We wouldn't survive without Sarah. On our
Impressive, very impressive. A+ production.
And she's probably shopping and doing some other things over there too.
It's incredible. Like this whole setup is. I'm amazed how this works.
We'll appreciate that.
All right, we got to get back on track because we're
Sorry,
like
sorry.
45 minutes in. It's been so much fun. We're like 45 minutes in. We're first getting to the second segment. This can be quick. Adrian Beltre, Todd Helton, Joe Mauer, Hall of Fame. They're the three names in.
Yep.
Are you ready to play mystery stats with me? I've got three mystery players. Okay? Sir, do you have the numbers? This is the first one. 17 seasons, 5-time All-Star, 369 career homers, 1,406 RBI, 316 batting average, and a career WAR of 61.8. Okay?
Is that B WAR or F WAR?
It's just WAR, I believe.
What?
It's
Baseball reference or fan grab?
I think it's baseball reference.
Corey and Brennan are so offended.
Well, they don't matter. They're not
They're
here.
pounding the table. They're the
Okay.
the
Do you see those
Denzel
stats?
Washington
Do you see those stats?
smacking the
see
table.
him. I see him.
Okay,
stuff.
give me player 2.
Oh,
It's all right.
there you go. You just got.
She was doing a
hyped
lot
up
of
by
clicks. Sarah was
Joe
doing
and-
clicks.
Yeah.
Now we get the
Flag
next
slacking.
guy.
Okay.
I'm confusing him.
Yeah.
That's the
This
next
is the second one. Also 17 seasons, 7-time All-Star, 316 homers, 1,287 RBI, 281 batting average, and a 70 WAR. B
Okay.
WAR, whatever. Okay?
Austin 316.
Third player.
Yeah.
18 seasons, 3-time All-Star, 386 homers, 1,400 RBI, 283 batting average, and a 32.4 career WAR.
Okay.
Okay.
Some of the numbers are pretty similar. That's all I'm
Sure.
saying. Okay? Here are the players. Player number 1, newly appointed Todd Helton of the Hall of Fame.
Sure. Okay.
Player number 2, Scott Rowland over there, Hall of Fame.
It's number 3.
And number 3
Yeah.
is
We did it again.
We got him
Aramis
back.
Ramirez.
We brought him back.
And again, I'm not saying Aramis Ramirez is a Hall of Famer. I'm just saying it's getting easier to get into the Hall of Fame.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you can't look at those numbers into the difference, in all honesty, the difference really between those three players is the other guys have gold gloves, Aramis doesn't.
And the
That's
war.
why the war
right?
is
And-
significantly
right, that's
Yeah.
why the war's significantly different. But if you look at the numbers, and I didn't even bring in the whole, the White Sox thing, like where They got a Hall of Famer that doesn't even match up to a Ramos, but like that's another story.
Harold Baines.
Harold Baines.
22 seasons.
And like even Ozzie Guillen pretty much his glove got him into the Hall of Fame. Like strictly.
You can say the same thing about Ozzie Smith too for the Cardinals.
That's what I meant. I meant I'm an idiot. I meant Ozzie Smith, the Wizard of Oz. Sorry.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's all right.
Yeah, I would agree. He is. You look at Ozzie Smith's offensive numbers, and you're like, this guy's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And then you got to watch his highlights reel of him playing defense, and he is probably one of the greatest defensive shortstops of all time, right? But
yeah, I was just gonna
he did win. He was on a bunch of winning teams.
I'm an idiot.
I wasn't even gonna. I was just like Ozzie Guillen, sure.
We don't let the facts get in the way of a good story, Joe.
Yeah, thank you. I have to be reminded of that. I don't remember. I remember Ramos being an awesome third baseman defensively.
Yeah, but not a
Just
Gold
maybe not
Glove.
one Gold
Mostly
Glove.
because Roland
was probably winning
Yeah.
at the same time. Yeah,
That's bullshit.
I mean, but really, if you look at the number, like the hitting numbers aren't that.
they're not different.
No, they're very, very close.
Yeah.
The years played are very, very close. So I guess the bottom line is I do think eventually someday Sammy will get into the Hall of Fame. I think he's more likely to get into the Hall of Fame someday, some way, some committee. They'll start another committee to get the next Harold Baines in. Sammy's numbers are way better. But I think he's more likely to get that than he is the Cubs Hall of Fame, which he just did not get voted into by a list of peers. Does everybody here agree Sammy is a Cubs Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
I mean,
I disagree in the fact that I think he is more likely to get into the Cubs Hall of Fame than the National Baseball Hall of Fame based off how they do the Baseball Hall of Fame, which we basically in the last 4 minutes now have been emphasizing about how they're letting anyone in. But it is, and I tweeted this last night, I think it is all about the writers and who they like.
well,
there's a lot of hypocrisy.
You got the committees that start to vote in these new guys, the New Era Committee or the Golden Era Committee, whatever. That's how some of these guys that have been passed over have gotten elected. So
I just think we're going to be waiting a long time for Sammy Sosa in the National Baseball Hall of Fame.
Right, and I don't lose a lot of sleep over it because it's a museum and I don't care. They can let in whoever they want to let in it. I don't lose any sleep over it. I lose sleep over things like having to go to the bathroom 4 times a night. That's what I lose sleep over,
your two children.
Yeah.
Big of you.
I lose sleep because I drink too much caffeine during the day. Yeah. But I don't lose sleep that Sammy's not in the Hall of Fame. Whatever.
Yeah.
That said, if you had to ask me, is Sammy Sosa one of the Cubs Hall of Famers
100%.
in the Cubs Hall of Fame?
Without a doubt.
I mean, of course he is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be here long enough or have enough time to get into the Cooperstown talk and where the line is, in my opinion, extremely blurry. Hear me out. My idea is because you can't tell the story of baseball without summer of 1998.
Yeah.
And I do believe Sammy Sosa should be in the Hall of Fame. Again, my standards for that are pretty low because I understand the traditionalist would disagree, and I get that. But my idea is make a wing of the hall and call it the Hall of Infamy, which is not opposite of famous or infamous. Make it the wing of infamous and have Bonds and have Clemens and have Sosa. But I was very pro. I would say 5 years ago, I was pro bring steroids back and make baseball. I'm not.
We're so similar.
I used to be there, and then I have been educated very well, very eloquently, and I had a really good conversation with Doug Lanville about this, and I think he wrote an article on ESPN, and he put it about as good as anybody could have put it to me on why he's against it, and I'm not going to get into the whole story, but it's more about the players on the fringe, how many players left baseball too soon because a player that did not have as much natural talent as them used steroids to get the starting job and then go on and sign a 3-year, 5-year deal and make money for their kids and their grandkids. And that is where the effect of steroids, I think, did the most damage. You give everybody in Major League Baseball steroids, and there's only going to be about 5 or 10 guys that hit over 60 home runs because they already have that God-given ability. And Bonds and Clemens, I think, are caveats. I think they should be in the Hall of Fame regardless of the steroid. I don't even think steroids matter to them because they were that good. But yeah, I don't have the time or the energy or output to get into that. But I think it's blurry. I think you have guys like Ty Cobb, who was a really bad human being in the Hall of Fame, but you're going to hang your hat on not letting Sammy or Mark McGwire in, who Bud Selig was perfectly fine with what they were doing because he was making money hand over fist, and baseball was getting the attention it deserves and was talked about every single day on ESPN. And it wasn't illegal at that time. It was not illegal. It's kind of like, I'm really good at bad analogies. So like my bad analogy for this is before speed limit signs were made, how do you establish the speed limit? You probably look at like other hazards in the road, or the road curves, or where the landscape is and how dangerous this could be. But before speed limit signs, people were speeding. But you set a limit, and then you only ticket and punish the people from then after that go excess speed limit. Right. You don't do anything with the people that their whole time were probably going 90 and what's now 65.
Yeah. No, I think
bad analogy, but I don't know.
I think it's something that we've talked about, that like Major League Baseball was pretty,
they were pretty okay with it when they were making money hand over fist.
Yeah, promoting the summer of '98 or Bonds' home run chase, whatever it was. We're fine with it, but then those guys became the scapegoats for an era where a lot of things were allowed to fly by the people in charge.
And someone on TikTok was telling me that like Sammy Sosa didn't change the entire Cubs fan base. And it's like, you can go look at attendance numbers alone. You look at the attendance the Cubs had in 1998 as a whole, whether it's because of, partnerships with businesses and stuff, getting tickets because of, them being partners with the Cubs. But the fact that you look at those attendance numbers and then look at the next 10 years after that, and hell, even go to today, Sammy Sosa had a massive impact on bringing people to Wrigley Field.
It was just an energy. Like every year for my birthday, my birthday is July 31st. We do a Cubs game. We've done that since I was probably 6 years old. And for the first 15 years, they always played the Rockies on my birthday at Wrigley, or every other birthday. Mm-hmm. But I remember, and we didn't have a lot of money growing up. So I remember in '98, I asked my mom for the next 4 birthdays if we could do 4 games in '98. And God bless her heart, she made it happen. And like near July 30, I remember I think he hit number 40 on my birthday in 1998. And we went to like 2 or 3 other games after that. And I just vividly remember every time he came up to bat in the month of August, people stood up, no matter what. Mm-hmm. People stood up. There was a buzz. There was electricity. Like, I think all the surrounding businesses like could turn off their breakers for the next hour and a half because like he provided the power that they would need to, supplement their bars and restaurants. It was that big of a buzz. And like, yeah, I know people tell me he's a cheater, and we're not going to get into like, did he know and what, like, that's not important. What's important is the way that Sammy Sosa made you feel, the way that he made 10-year-old Joe feel, and that was a magical experience. So that's what that's what I remember. And
that's a lot of like what I argue.
Even if the numbers are fake, the memories are real.
Well, there's also steroid users in the Hall of Fame, known steroid users in the Hall of Fame.
There's a bunch. Jeff Bagwell got LASIK eye surgery and got his vision to 2010. Is that cheating? Is that performance enhancing when you can see double of what somebody with in terms of distance that a 20/20 vision person can have? Look at Jeff Bagwell's stats. I think it was like 03 he got LASIK and got it to 2010. And look at his hitting numbers before and after LASIK eye surgery. Again, I'm not going to get it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. I'm
a
just saying.
I'm a 2010 guy, but I couldn't hit a curveball, so that didn't help. And now I wear readers.
No,
Ortiz is in the Hall of Fame, and he was in the Mitchell Report.
It's definitely a gray area, but that's also why people feel so strongly on both sides about it, and that there's never going to come to a consensus. Like it's people are going to feel strongly which way or the other, and
but womanizers and pieces of shit human beings are in, and nobody brings that up. But I digress.
The way that I always look at it is the way these players are, promoted as like idols to people and stuff like that. It comes down to the fact that it's all about the fans at the end of the day.
And the fans don't get to vote.
And the fans don't get to vote. They don't like. I
think whole voting
I think a large majority of the fans would probably allow a lot of these guys that aren't in. And that's one reason why I'm big on like the Cubs should let the fans have some sort of vote in the Cubs Hall of Fame, because they are not who they are without us.
I mean, yeah, I agree. And I think the best form of hypocrisy at Cooperstown is that Pete Rose is banned from baseball for gambling, and the Cincinnati Reds are getting a gambling sports book attached to their stadium or just outside.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think it gets more hypocritical than that.
Yeah.
And that's like an official partner of Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cubs have a
DraftKings right
Cubs have a
outside,
DraftKings sports
What are we
book.
doing? What are we doing?
Yeah. No, that's
Make sense.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
that's definitely one. That
This is going to make sense to you. Are you in the market for a new vehicle? If you are, then we have
Look at
some
that
great news for you. Our partner, Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Fox Lake, is starting their Ray Resolution with Start Something New sales event. And you know what that means. You'll be able to shop incredible savings on every new vehicle in stock because they want to clear out and make room for their brand new 2024 vehicles. For a limited time, get up to $9,000 off on new Jeep models with dealer discount. And that's not all. Shop their last call on remaining 2023 Dodge Challenger and Charger models, including Hellcats, Scat, Cat Packs, and more. Dodge is the most powerful muscle car brand, so you don't want to miss out on their last call with over 20 Dodge muscle cars to choose from. And at Ray CDJR, you're always able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventories and drive home with more money in your pocket than you'd expect thanks to the Ray Price Promise. And don't miss out. Shop great deals all month long and save big because Ray CDJR makes buying a new vehicle more affordable than ever. Fans can get a free oil change when you mention the 4 most important letters in the alphabet, CHGO, at the service center, or mention CHGO when you book online at raycdjr.com/service. But you have to schedule before the 31st of January, end of the month. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, then you got to check out the team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram because they are the only team we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com, serving the community since 1963. Hey, I don't know if you guys know this, but it's getting easier and easier for businesses to switch to electric vehicles. That's something we can all get behind for the health of the planet and for the well-being of all of us who share it, Cody.
Yeah, Luke, the electric grid is evolving to meet your cleaner energy needs as we all move with confidence toward an electric tomorrow. Whether you have one delivery van or a whole fleet of shipping trucks, ComEd can help guide you to make the changes that make sense.
So what should business owners do?
Business owners, Joe, you should go to ComEd.com/clean,
no.
brother.
For your fleet?
All right.
ComEd.com/clean, bro. To learn more about the resources, fleet rebates, and infrastructure incentives available to help businesses go electric. If you own a business, don't wait, Joe. Start making your plan today to switch to electric vehicles. Good for business, good for the planet, good for all of us. Go to ComEd.com/clean.
I mean, you heard him. He sold how many? 450 Schwarber shirts in one day? Like, probably could use a fleet for that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
need to get right. I need to get right on that. Thank you, Cody,
Yeah.
for that wonderful read.
Wait, just so we all heard this clearly, did you say ComEd.com/clean?
Yes, Luke. Go now and see how going electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future for generations to come.
Corey says hi in the chat.
Corey's in
Friedman.
the live YouTube chat.
Shout out to Mike Taylor, who corrected me that Sosa hit 42 on July 31st. I don't know why I got 40, but I trust Mike. So
42.
thanks, Mike. And It's So Real, that made me laugh. It's so real. The video game, if you guys remember that. It's so real. Great comment.
What else we got?
A+ comment.
Good comments. So we do have Cody Bellinger week, which we have to talk about before we go. You tell us what these cards are, but this is how
Yeah.
you're going to celebrate Cody Bellinger week?
Yeah, and I just want to reiterate to the millions tuning in to watch that this, like, I'm just giving my opinion. Like,
Right.
I'm a Cubs homer. I don't expect you to agree or disagree with me. I'm just here to say how I feel. So I just want to put that out there. But what I did, these are all real facts. I did my homework. I made a few phone calls, talked to a few people. I just wanted to, for Cody Bellinger week, I wanted to dig up some information that I think Cub fans would find interesting about the guy that they probably didn't already know. So
What a way to celebrate. This
I
is
could just
beautiful.
read a few.
Yeah.
And I
Got
even
them
put the
little cards.
24 on the back. Like,
Okay,
Very
there you
nice.
go.
yeah, I went all out. So these are just Cody Bellinger facts. When Ken Griffey Jr. was coming into the league, he asked Cody Bellinger for permission to wear number 24. That's a fact.
Fact.
And I didn't make all. I didn't some of this is you guys are gonna recognize where it came from, but some I did write myself. Fact number 2: Cody Bellinger's dad is actually named Cody Bellinger Jr.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Makes
Facts.
sense.
Yeah, there you go.
And this was provided from insight for teammates who lift weights with Cody Bellinger. When Cody Bellinger works out, the machines get stronger.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Facts.
big. And only when he works out at Midtown Athletic Club.
Yes.
Yeah,
Correct.
there you go.
Just
Absolutely.
pointing that out.
Particularly, yes.
I had to get Jed's permission for this one, but this happened this year. Cody Bellinger showed up 2 hours late to a team meeting, and as punishment, Jed fined everybody else for being there too early.
Facts.
This one came from his aunt, who I know. It's a weird story. When Cody Bellinger was in elementary school, teachers had to raise their hands if they wanted to speak to him.
Yeah, that's how you know your
Checks
deal.
Out. Checks out.
Yeah. I thought this one was cool. When Cody Bellinger signed up for Gmail, Google gave him Gmail at CodyBellinger.com.
Facts.
When Cody Bellinger stares at the sun sneezes.
Oh, this
Facts.
is a lunar year,
That's-
I think,
that's a
coming up
fact,
too.
yeah.
This really is don't let the facts get in the way
Yeah.
of
That's
the
right.
story.
We all know Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. When he did, he already had 3 missed calls from Cody Bellinger.
Yeah,
Facts.
and a fax.
Some of you might remember this, fun fact. Cody Bellinger won the Masters tournament using a tennis racket and a bowling ball. That was pretty remarkable. I remember
that was incredible.
Who could forget?
Tiger who?
Yeah.
What
could
was your
ever
favorite
forget?
part of the Masters that year?
It's been said that when Cody Bellinger falls, a star makes a wish.
Facts.
Yeah, this was when his Dodger days, but he was playing Arizona. He got stung by the deadliest scorpion on Earth, and after 3 excruciating days of pain and suffering, the scorpion died.
Yeah,
Yep,
right.
checks
Yeah.
out.
We've heard
Facts.
that.
Sounds about right.
Science proves it.
This was actually right outside the stadium, the subway that we all know and love, right outside of Wrigley. Cody Bellinger once went to that subway, ordered a Big Mac and a large fry, and got it.
Oh, wow.
the pole
Facts.
that Cody Bellinger has.
The pull, yeah.
Cody Bellinger picked an apple off of an orange tree and made award-winning lemonade. Fact.
Facts.
Lemonade out of oranges.
Yeah. And then this one, I have a few more. I'm not going to read them all. But it's kind of cool. When he was playing in the Little League World Series, he came in to, close the game out, retired the side, threw 4 pitches, retired the side.
Wow.
Animal.
Facts.
Yeah.
That
Let's
is
see.
incredible.
And I think, yeah, I mean,
You got one more? You got one
I
more
got
for
one
us?
more. It's not, I mean, it's cool, but
It's not your favorite?
It's not my favorite, but
It's a fact, though.
It is a fact. And
Cody Bellinger
this is
fact.
what Cody does when he gets sick. When he gets a sore throat, he gargles peanut butter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty impressive.
Strong throat.
You
Getting
built
real
different.
strong.
Yeah.
Built different.
Built
So
Absolutely.
there's just some
Great.
fun facts to, honor the man that should be Chicago Cub.
That was great for Cody
Don't
Bellinger.
let those
for sure.
facts get in the way of a good story.
That's right.
It's a great way to honor Cody Bellinger
Thank you.
on Luke's declared Cody Bellinger week.
Yeah.
Thank you,
It-
Ryan. Thank you,
Cody
Luke.
Bellinger week. And even though Ryan doesn't want it, it continues tomorrow on Thursday, Cody Bellinger week, as we continue to celebrate here at CHGO, because we all know something big's about to happen. Any minute.
There's
could
still-
happen.
there's
or it could be
still-
2/4/24.
Yeah, like there's
Makes more
still
sense.
February 4th, but tomorrow we manifest. I'm trying, man.
I guess before we go, where can everyone kind of find your stuff? Obvious shirts on social. Anything you want to plug? I know Barb asked for your
Let's
email.
plug the Rhino stuff.
Yeah, I think,
Get behind Rhino.
yeah, I've gotten to know Rhino really well over the past year and a half. He's a hero, mentor of mine. You guys all saw the announcement. There's no a decision has not been made yet. I think I told him, like, this is not what you should be worrying about or thinking about right now. You got to take care of you. And so the truth is, I don't know what's coming. I made this myself this morning to show my support. But we do plan on releasing a line of shirts that will 100% be donated to a charity of Rhino's choosing. I think he's still figuring out which foundation. I don't have a timetable. I'm not going to press or push for a timetable, but that is the plan. And I would, again, it doesn't matter if you buy my shirts or you buy anybody else's shirts. Just support. Let's just all come together and show support for him, because he deserves that, and he's a legend in his own right, and he's going to kick cancer's ass. And cancer has no idea. Cancer doesn't know obviously who Ryan Sandberg is.
It's about to.
Yeah, it's about to.
Yeah.
So yeah, he will eventually pick a charity where all the proceeds will go.
Correct.
Yes.
Awesome. Great.
But obviousshirts.com. I don't obvious_shirts on social, but yeah. Thanks,
Awesome,
guys.
man. That's awesome, man.
This
It
was
was great
fun.
having
You
you.
brought
It
in
was
a lot
great
of
being
swag
here. You
for
guys are
us.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for having
You,
me.
I know in some aspects, because we sell shirts, you sell shirts. Like, I think what's cool is that we have a great relationship. Like, because we collab with the Mike Talkman shirt, and we wear your shirts on set all the time anyway, on top of our own shirts. Like I'm
that's
wearing
really
today.
cool. That's really cool. I appreciate that.
I think like one of the cool things that I love about this is the fact that you don't see that a lot of other places, and so to me, this is how I've always thought about things. Like, we're cool with you, you're cool with us, we support you, you support us, and like I just wish there was more of that around this industry in general. And I'm glad that we've been able to do this.
I wish there was more of it in the world.
That too. Yeah.
Forget the industry. Can everybody just get along for a little bit?
That'd be nice.
Oh, also,
Karate in the garage.
Yeah.
Anybody?
karate in the garage.
Never mind. Bad Step Brothers joke.
I was gonna say before we go, we need you. We've been searching for different routes to go about this, and we haven't found the right one. We may need you to use some of your pull to get Stuckey in the Cubs Hall of Fame. We may need you to like kind of throw his name.
Let's move on.
No.
Yeah,
I probably don't have as much pull as you think I have, but hey, I will.
Yeah.
I will go to war with Grandpa Stuckey. Or is it Uncle Stuckey? Grandpa Stuckey?
Grandpa
Okay,
Stuckey.
Grandpa
Both.
Stuckey.
Yeah, probably
It's
both.
getting-
You have some pull.
There better be
Listen,
a,
he's not a superhero.
It's getting closer to great Grandpa Stuckey at this point,
Oof.
but
Easy now.
You have some
Easy
pull
now.
because when I said on the show that I had a source that said Sammy
No.
Sosa wasn't getting into the Cubs Hall of Fame, you were the source.
yeah, that's a whole another wild story, but
And
Whatever.
And then I was right. So like you can't say my credibility isn't there.
no, your credibility is there, and there's like there's times where I do have again, it's gonna sound douchey. I do have information that I obviously can't make public, and I respect the people who tell me in the relationships that I've like kind of fostered to not tell that. But it's just kind of crazy, like reading social media and seeing what people are saying, and like you kind of knowing what's what. And my goal is not to be. I'm not a baseball writer. I'm not a baseball analyst. I just make stupid, basic, witty T-shirts. So I'm just going to stay in my lane and do that. But yeah,
Credit to you.
Perfect. Hey, Joe, thank you for coming. Can we do it again sometime? I know you don't like the attention. I know you don't like.
if people want to hear my Cubs homer opinion more, and like, yeah, I'll come and be overly hyped for things that don't deserve the hype, and shout out my favorite players and say shit that might not make a lot of sense. I'm your guy.
Hopefully,
how about this? How about this? If we go live, if the Cubs re-sign Cody Bellinger and we go do a live show, I'll come on with some more Cody Bellinger facts.
Yeah, I mean, I brought probably 15. I have over 300.
There you go.
So this was just the tip of the iceberg.
Maybe if we do another live remote show for opening day like we did last year in Wrigley, you'll be right down the street. Maybe come down.
Yeah.
And come on the show for opening day or something.
All right.
Already on.
So maybe it won't happen on the 24th of January, but it still could happen on the 24th or the 4th of February. Keep that in mind. Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs podcast. Back here on Thursday with a live show at 1:30. Thanks to Joe Johnson from Obvious Shirt. Corey Friedman going to be in the building tomorrow. And we continue our Cubs convention interviews with a fun Cubs reliever. Join us then. Until then, thanks for watching and fly the W.
Yeah.
We all silly like the mayor.